In this video, we will be balancing the given chemical equation, which is NaOH plus H2SO4 gives Na2SO4 plus H2O. So sodium hydroxide is reacting with sulfuric acid to give us sodium sulfate and water. So as always, we will start balancing the equation with writing down the given chemical equation. Now the next step will be to count the number of atoms of each element on both sides of the given chemical equation. So let's make a table. Now we have the elements as sodium, oxygen, hydrogen and sulfur. Now let us count the number of atoms of each element. For sodium, we have 1 on the LHS and we have 2 sodium atoms on the RHS. So 1 and 2. Now for oxygen, we have 1 atom of oxygen in sodium hydroxide and we have 4 atoms of oxygen in sulfuric acid. So 1 plus 4, we get 5. On the RHS, we have 4 atoms of oxygen in sodium sulfate and we have 1 oxygen atom in water molecule. So in all, we have 5 on the RHS. Now for hydrogen, 1 hydrogen is from NaOH and 2 hydrogen atoms are from H2SO4. So 1 plus 2, we have 3 on the LHS. On the RHS, we have 2 atoms of hydrogen from water molecule. Now for sulfur, we have 1 of sulfur on the LHS and 1 on the RHS. So you can see sulfur and oxygen are already balanced. We just have to balance sodium and hydrogen. Now, when you want to decide which element to balance first, always remember a rule of thumb that always balance oxygen and hydrogen on the last. So if we leave hydrogen for the last, we are left with nitrogen. So we will try to balance nitrogen. Also, if we want to increase nitrogen by multiplying by 2 on the LHS, it will be equal to RHS. So in order to do this, you cannot simply take Na2OH because you cannot modify the molecule of sodium hydroxide. It is NaOH and not Na2OH. So in order to prevent us from manipulating the molecules, we can use a practice of drawing boxes around our molecules. So let us draw boxes around all of these molecules. So for balancing the equation, the only thing we can do is multiply by 2 to the whole molecule. So we will take to multiply sodium by 2, we will multiply the whole molecule that contains sodium. So NaOH is the molecule that contains sodium. So we will multiply this molecule by 2 because we want to increase the number of atoms of sodium. So sodium hydroxide multiplied by 2. Now we have started to balance our equation, but let us count the modified number of atoms on both sides. I'll just copy this equation. Now this is our modified equation. We have taken 2 molecules of sodium hydroxide. Now let us count the number of atoms on both sides again. we have the elements sodium, oxygen, hydrogen and sulfur. Now for sodium, let's count the molecules. We have 2 atoms of sodium on the LHS and 2 on the RHS. So we will just write 2 on the LHS and 2 on the RHS. It is already balanced now. Now for oxygen, we have oxygen taken twice, so 2 of oxygen, and O4 from H2SO4, so 2 plus 4, we have 6 atoms of oxygen on the LHS. So let's write 6. On the RHS, we have O4, so 4 of oxygen, and single atom of oxygen, 1 from water. So 4 plus 1, we have 5 on the RHS. So it is not yet balanced. For hydrogen, we have hydrogen taken twice from sodium hydroxide, so 2 of hydrogen, and we have H2 from H2SO4, so 2 of hydrogen again. 2 plus 2, we have 4 of hydrogen on the left hand side. And on the right hand side, we have H2 from water molecule, so only 2 atoms of hydrogen. So on the RHS, hydrogen has only 2 atoms. Now for sulfur, we have 1 atom of sulfur on the LHS and 1 on the RHS. Again, it is already balanced, 1 and 1. Now we have hydrogen and oxygen yet to be balanced, so you can choose any one of them. Let us choose oxygen. So see, we have 6 of oxygen on the LHS and we have 5 of oxygen on the RHS. How we can increase 1 oxygen on the right hand side? If you see, we have this 5 as 4 of oxygen coming from Na2SO4 and plus 1 single oxygen coming from water molecule. So if we multiply this 1 atom by 2, we get 4 plus 2, that is 6, and it will be equal to LHS. So what we can do is we can multiply this water molecule by 2. So let us see what happens if we modify this equation like this. So we will write down this equation like this, and let's count the number of atoms on both sides now. We have the elements as sodium, oxygen, hydrogen and sulfur. Now for sodium, we have 2 of sodium on the LHS and 2 of sodium on the RHS. So 2 and 2. For oxygen, we have O taken twice and O4. So 2 plus 4, we have 6 on the LHS. So we'll write 6. And we have oxygen taken twice in water, so 2 of oxygen here. And we have O4, so 4 of oxygen here. 2 plus 4, we have 6 of oxygen on the right hand side. Now for hydrogen, let's count hydrogen. We have hydrogen taken twice, 2 of hydrogen. Here also we have hydrogen twice, so 2 of hydrogen here. 2 plus 2, we have 4 atoms of hydrogen on the LHS. Now for RHS, we have H2 taken twice, so in all this is 4 hydrogen atoms. H2 means 2 hydrogen atoms. It is taken twice, which means four atoms of hydrogen. And for sulfur, we have one on the LHS and one on the RHS. So we'll write down 1 and 1. Now if you see, we have all of our elements balanced on both sides of the equation. So this is our balanced equation. I'll write it down again. 2 NaOH plus H2SO4 gives Na2SO4 plus water. So this is our balanced equation.